Hi, this is Odeean. Today I've got Legends, although they don't say Legends, but Cosmos and Swerve. I really wanted both of these for a long time, but I wasn't going to pay $45, $50 like they've been going for on eBay, especially Cosmos here, so I just waited till BBTS ended up getting them. So I paid about $21 for the two. That's pretty good. Cosmos. I'm sure this toy has been video reviewed to death by now. I took a long time to get it, but I just like it so much, I thought I had better show it off at least once briefly. I got him with his wave buddy here, Swerve. I really like Swerve too. I like this Swerve so much, I don't need to get any other Swerve. I'm satisfied with this, but not enough to make his own video. So he's pretty cool. You can check him out as well if you want to buy an awesome toy. But going back to Cosmos, we don't have a heap of Cosmoses. I don't know how you would say that. But out of the ones that we do have, I really think this is the best one. So I've got iGear Mini Warriors Cosmos. I'll show that as a comparison in a minute. I think I like this better than that. I don't own the original Classics, or was it Generations Little Legends Cosmos, because I didn't really like the way that it looked, and it got super expensive after it was released on the secondary market, so I just didn't want to pick that up. But, you know, I paid $11 for this. That is a decent price, and it's a pretty awesome little figure. He's highly articulated with all these ball joints and whatnot all over the place, but because he's so bulky, sometimes his posing doesn't amount to much just because such chunky bits moving all over the place. And you can see how big his fist is there. I think that's pretty cool. I like that sculpted detail of the fist, and I don't mind that it's so huge. I got nothing against robots having really big fists, and I think it's been incorporated quite cleverly into that panel there. His head is on this little platform that moves up and down, and they've been, I don't know if it's intentional or just tolerance issues, but you do get a little bit of play from side to side, so you can give him some kind of emoting by tilting his head this way and that. But it does show up that green panel. It would have been nice if the little bit of plastic in there had been green as well, but you know, what can you get? It's a very small toy, so I guess it's hard to get the paint perfect. You can see on mine there a little bit of overspray from the eye. That paint has kind of permanently bonded to the red there. I guess I could fix that with a brush myself, but I'm not inclined to do it. The face is a good likeness to Cosmos. Pretty cool. The Autobot symbol over here on the shoulder is nice and crisp, and I mean, there's a little bit of transparency in the yellow paint there, but given that it's so small and at the distances you normally look at this guy, it comes off just fine. I like on the back how Cosmos's engines end up as this little backpack that points down. That's pretty cool, and if I was a kid, I would definitely be zipping him around like that and pretending he was flying with that, so I like that. Also, you've got some molded details underneath here. You know, these toys kind of have to be hollowed out these days, but this one's not hollowed out in such a bad way. Like, even on the forearms up here where it's hollowed out, you don't really notice it too badly. If I hold him up here next to iGear's Cosmos, you can see there's a bit of a size difference. I mean, not too much height difference, but the iGear one is really bulked out. I do like the head on the iGear one, but I like both of these heads. I'm perfectly fine with both heads. I think that it was very clever to put that dome on this guy, and I would have liked to have seen a dome on this Legends one, but it's a good figure. I'm happy with it. I just think that's really awesome and cool, the way the dome works there. And also, I do like the ray gun. A flying saucer should have a ray gun. You know what? I wonder if I can just give that ray gun to my Legends. Oh, I hadn't thought of that before this video. That is so freaking awesome. Okay, this Cosmos owns that ray gun now. Sorry, iGear Cosmos, but you've lost it. The other thing I don't like so much about the iGear one is that there's just too much yellow. So he's predominantly yellow in his robot mode, which is just not right. And I do feel that the fists have been done. I like the fists on the official Legends version better than this iGear version. These are an okay fist, but there's just something good looking about the sculpting on this huge fist here. I'm quite happy with that. Now the transformation. Condense these arms up in on themselves like this. Now the transformation is actually surprisingly good for a Legends. It's pretty in-depth. A lot of tabs and whatnot. This backpack folds up like that. These go in here. Before I do that, we're going to have to rotate this waist around. Now, it's kind of ratcheted. There's some definite ratchets in there. One thing to be cautious of is this joint, this peg will start to slip out. If this becomes unaligned, in the final mode, you'll never get everything matching up. So just make sure that didn't come out at all while you're doing the transformation. Tab this back section in like that. Fold the legs forward. Rotate these around so that the stripe is on the front. Now this part's pretty cool. You kind of should angle them in from the sides and slot them in, because there's a kind of tab that it runs on, and it's hard to get it tabbed in if you just push it, but if you slide it together, it kind of meshes. Now that's it. Give it a little bit of a squeeze to get all these gaps out, but you're never going to 100% get that gap out of the front. But you can do a pretty decent job like that. Often with my third-party figures, I can pretty definitively say I like them better than the Hasbro alternative. That's quite often the case. But when it comes to these two, I'm pretty sure I like the Hasbro one, the official one, better. I think that it looks more like Cosmos, although he's not as fat as I'd like him to be. I'm still really open to a fat Cosmos, but anyway, he looks more like Cosmos. I think he's a nicer colour. I think he's got less yellow, which I didn't want to see so much yellow in it. It really has the detail that harkens back to the original. So Cosmos always had these little black things sticking out of him. He had the yellow of his legs at the front here. The details, like he had a little sticker on his barrel chest, which was similar to this. So I'm pretty happy with this Cosmos. The one area where he's not as good as the third party is if you look underneath, the iGear one has a hole. I think it's a 5mm peg where you can put a stand, and he does come with a stand. I don't need Hasbro to give us a stand, but I would like to have had a proper peg hole somewhere on the underside. Now, let's see if this will fit in that gap that's there. It might. So it doesn't really. So it's a little bit too big to fit in the gap, the transformation gap. You could just cut a stand down or make some kind of adapter, and it'd be pretty easy to do to get it to a state where you could plug this in, but it would require a little bit of modification. Cosmos also comes with a little Target Master friend. I can't remember what this spaceship's name is, but it's clearly loosely modelled off the American Space Shuttle. It's a nice little sculpt. At this tiny scale, it isn't that useful. You can see that to form robot mode, all you do is basically flip up these wings, and that's it. Now, it's pretty decently painted, to be honest, for such a tiny figure. Normally from Hasbro, something this small, I would probably expect these days to have no paint, or if any paint, just the symbol. But this is done not too badly. On camera, up close like this, it can look a little bit bad, but to the naked eye, it's so small you don't see any of the imperfections like what you're probably picking up on around those eyes there. So it's pretty cool. Now, he's got a gun mode. If I can figure out this gun mode, just pull out the handle like this. How does this work? Uh-oh. That's not part of transformation. I don't think that's part of transformation. I think that's me just breaking his legs off. But kind of looks a little bit better as a gun like that. I wonder if I can snap this back on backwards. Oh, awesome. Yes. Is that right? That's better like that. I think that's better than how I was going to show it. So you can snap his legs on backwards and make an awesome blaster like that. That's pretty cool. Let's see if I can... I've still got... Sorry, Cosmos is not in robot mode anymore. So you can see it can peg in like that. That's better than I expected, actually. Now that that piece pops off, I think that's pretty cool. That's a good little Target Master. My final thoughts. Cosmos has been a line killer for so long that it's a relief that there's a mass-produced, widely available, cheaply priced, excellent version of Cosmos out there. He is tiny, not too tiny, like he's a good sized Legends. They don't really say Legends on the box, but he's the same size as like a Commander or something, I think. But I'm happy that everyone's got a chance to buy him now. I'm open to the possibility of getting a big Cosmos. I think a spaceship should be big. I don't necessarily prefer him as a mini-bot, although he was a mini-bot. But if I'm going to lay down some serious money for a big, good Cosmos, I would like to see a big, barrel-chested, short, fat Cosmos like what's in the show. Everything in my collection, I like to push things more and more to look like the original cartoon, because that's what's important to me. And this is pretty good, but still there's room for improvement. So got my eye open for that. But I think pretty much everyone's going to enjoy this figure. So that's been my video review for Transformers Legends Cosmos. I'm odeean. Thank you for watching.